Guys, as the athletes get ready for 277, you can also get yourself a big win over at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. This Saturday, new customers can bet $5 on any fighter to win and get $100 in free bets, win or lose. Want even more action? You can also double your winnings on the same game parlay. DraftKings is the only sportsbook that offers same game parlays on UFC events. Combine multiple bets, like which fighter will win, how long the fight will last, and more. Just place your UFC 277 same game parlay, and if it hits, you're going to win double. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Sonnen. Bet $5 on any UFC 277 fighter to win and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's code Sonnen this Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. My official prediction, Brandon Moreno, Kaikar, France. First off, thank you. I mean, honest to goodness, this is the unexpected treat of this division for a number of different reasons. This is the fight. I don't get real excited for 125-pound fights, and it's not because I dismiss them at all. Just the division's never done a great job. You had Demetrius Johnson could clean up everybody. He was like a thing out of a video game, but he was the world's nicest guy. Which means if you're coming in the challenger seat, you have to be the opposite or you can't get any of us to care. And people try to out-nice the nicest guy. They tried to pretend to be nicer than who was genuinely the nicest guy. It was just one of these things. It was really hard to get this division going. Figueiredo's done a fantastic job with it. But one thing that I personally don't want to see is Figueiredo versus Moreno. I've never been on board with that. Their first fight was a classic, and it was a treat. We weren't expecting that. You guys go back and check the ratings. That was garbage. That was rotten garbage. You do not have a sustainable business if you're bringing in those kind of numbers. Guys, for the people that tuned in, it really was a treat. It was fantastic. And Dana White, he's done this before, but it's rare. Went to the press conference that night. No doctor's report, no commission suspensions, no talking to both guys. He made the fight. He made part two. We're doing that fight. I don't care what we have to do. I don't care who we have to wait. They're fighting to get right. It was one of those things, which is a huge compliment. So, I want to see the second fight. I want to get it. Guys, I've lost track. I think we've done three. And we were getting ready to do four. Stop. The first one was great, but it was also great because it was unexpected. Stop with that. They were a main event the first time they fought. They fought at least once since, and maybe twice. They have not been main event again. I mean, this is very relevant. Very relevant because when I come over here and I tell you guys that certain fights don't work and you love to push back, I'm not sharing Chael's opinion. When I have Chael's opinion, I would tell you, here's what I think. I'm sharing numbers with you. The first fight, which was awesome, did terrible ratings. That's a fact. Don't tell me how bad you want to see it because you didn't tune in that night. So stop right there. When we rematched it, it lost its placement on the card. We rematched it again. It lost its placement on the card. It was supposed to rematch this week. It still lost its placement on the card. In all fairness, stop, please. So now we got Kaikar. This guy's a problem. And I'm stuck at how good is Brandon Moreno. He's impressive. He's motivated. He works hard. His attitude is something to aspire to be. To aspire to love your job when it's this difficult. To aspire to love your fans and have a smile. Really, he's very unique. How good is he? If you ask me what's special about Moreno, what has he done in his career that's special, I can answer that question, as long as you only ask me it once. And I would talk about those fights with Figueiredo. They were amazing. And Figueiredo's a stud. Figueiredo has passed the test. Figueiredo beat twice Joseph Benavidez, which is more than Henry Cejudo can say. Stud. And Moreno went with it. I have nothing else. Did he go with Moreno because it was just one of those matchups? Have you guys ever been there? Any sport that you played, have you ever been there where you know where you're at and it's not wonderful and you know who you're taking on is super good and then you go do the game? You go, God damn, I only lost by 3 points. Has that ever happened to you? But then you could go against somebody that they went with and you could get wiped out and you get put back in your space. as the dog crap on the bottom of the world shoe. I mean, right? It's one of those things, but you've been on both sides of that. Or you're the big stud at something you do. Somebody else comes in who isn't very talented, and you know it, and you go, God, that was a really hard match. Sometimes it's just the matchup. So when I tell you I don't know how good Moreno is, if I go watch his fights with Figueiredo, man, this guy, amazing. Go fit him for the jacket for the Hall of Fame. He's going in it someday. I understand that, but I don't have other bodies of work. And it is relevant, guys. We don't know. You don't know the answer. Sometimes there's just for whatever reason. I mean, Moreno landed more body shots on Figueiredo than he's ever landed in his career combined. Are you guys aware of that? There's a stat right there that I trust that you've never found before. Because the good folks over here at Bad Guy Inc. got that stat. It hasn't been said before. Well, why was Moreno hitting Figueiredo in the body so much? How was he able to land more body shots on Figueiredo than he landed in his entire career accumulatively? I'm only asking the question. I'm not answering it, but there could be something about Figueiredo's body type. There could be something about the positioning. There could be something about his movements that just worked really well for Brandon. It could be. That's the outside chance here. But I do want to talk to you guys about it. Because if I'm going and juxtaposing him against Kaikar, which is exactly what we're doing, that's why they call it a contest, that sumbitch can fight. Kaikar France can flat fight. End of story. Not he looked good against this guy. Not there was a great performance over here. Not they put a belt up and he was able to find success. Spread it around. This guy is crushing people. This was one of the great decisions. This was one of the great summer decisions by the UFC to interim this belt. Now, it hurt Figueiredo's feelings. That doesn't bring me joy. I just don't think it should hurt his feelings. Figueiredo is your champion. He's still your champion. They're going to go have an interim bout. Figueiredo will still be the champion. No one's taken away from Figueiredo, but boy, are we building that division. And it's a really interesting question. Who is better? Who can beat who? With Kaikar and Moreno. Moreno's got the better ranking. Moreno's got the better momentum. Moreno's had the bigger fights. But I really do want to bring this front and center. You can't get this anywhere, guys. Nobody is telling you this anywhere. And if you're staying with me, you're starting to question it. Because I make a really interesting point when I tell you he looks awesome against Figueiredo. Is it a matchup issue? Do you believe that Moreno, people love to say MMA math doesn't work. MMA math works every damn day. Every damn day it works. Do you believe that Moreno could stop Cody Garbrandt? Do you believe that he could stop him in the first round? Just a question and just throwing it at you, but it's very fair game. It's very good food for thought. Kaikar France wasn't having a difficult time at the time that he got that stoppage. History of the sport says you beat a world champion, you got to fight for a world championship. Moreno is a more technical boxer. Kaikar France uses the reach better and he's got better power on the two. Moreno is an experienced guy. He's not a veteran. He's a young man, but he's not as young as Kaikar France. There is something to be said in all of sport for momentum. Nobody has momentum like city kickboxing. Wherever you live, guys, wherever in the hell you live, do you got a world champion in your neighborhood? Most of you just said no. No, hell no, I don't have a world champion in my neighborhood. Okay, fair enough. I've got one, Destiny Rodriguez. It's a very rare thing. Where Kaikar goes every single day of his life, he has 3. It's not a big deal. It's expected. He is expected to win this. I fought for 6 world championships. When I got the plane, boy, I had a whole team waiting there, patting me on the back. Good job. They were proud of me. Proud of me to have this opportunity. It's very different. A lot of pressure, and I was honored to go and try to do it from my hometown. I can't imagine being at a gym that's so successful that you're expected. This is not an opportunity. This is not, look at a great job we did as managers. This is not, look at us, we got you. We expect you to win fights, get to a championship, and then bring the belt home. It's a very different scenario. And I didn't give you an X's and O's. I didn't talk about the jab and slipping outside and the kicks. I didn't get into the conditioning and the intangibles and the strengths. I didn't get into the height and the reach, but it's not always about that. You can break that down and have the strategies all day. When it's all said and done and they tear that cage down Saturday night, one guy was a better fighter than the other guy. I submit for you, in this case, the better fighter is Kai Car-France.